Hello and welcome to CNR Extra on City TV. My name is Nanatufu Obwate. Coming up. Majority in Parliament disappointed in Adwoa Safo for accusing the caucus of political witch hunting.
I'm at pains to relate to these details because he's now saying that leadership has not been backing her and that they have been witch hunting her. I'm surprised. I think it's the most unfortunate and regrettable statement from Adwoa.
Government lays commercial agreement in Parliament for the construction of the Suame interchange after residents almost attacked the MP for the area of Suame and Sabunsu over the poor nature of roads.
Supported by a CESD insurance premium to finance the design and construction of phase 1 of the Suame interchange and ancillary work project at Kumasi, Republic of Ghana.
Meanwhile, artisans and business owners at Suame Magazine in the Ashanti region cast doubt over the government's assurances of constructing an interchange at the Suame roundabout.
Currently, we are happy, but interchange, you know how many it's going to take. The cost, the immense, and the plan of anything else. Even this road, we had to demonstrate. We have to call trials here and there before it gets being fixed.
And later, National Youth Wing of the New Patriotic Party assures concerns of TESCON members across the country will be addressed.
My engagements are showing that we all do have an appreciation of the problem, and clearly the solutions are also in sight.
Let me start by welcoming Jude Mensah Duncan of the City Newsroom. Jude, good morning.
Good morning, Nana.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Same here.
All right, so as is done on CNR Extra, we'll bring you the stories that aired on our major news bulletin CNR, and of course we get into a conversation on the various stories. We'd like to hear from you and know what you think about these stories, and so you can also join in the conversation via the WhatsApp number 0550585832. 0550585832. Send us your thoughts and your comments via the WhatsApp number. But quickly, let's move into our first story, where there seems to be a rift or a scuffle between the members of the House and, of course, the embattled member of Parliament or legislator for Dom Kwabenya, Sarah Adwoa Safo. This report captures the details.
MP in Parliament is disappointed in Adwoa Safo for accusing the caucus of political witch hunting.
The seat of Adwoa Safo may be declared vacant if the plenary votes for the motion following her refusal to appear before the Privileges Committee. But in a statement on Facebook, the absentee member of Parliament for Dom Kwabenya accused her side in the legislature, an element of the party, of political vendetta.
Now, she accused them of discriminating against her as a female colleague was given room in the 7th Parliament to absent herself for years. In an interview with City News, Majority Leader Suame Sabunsu indicated that he is surprised by the comments of Adwoa Safo as the leadership has shielded her than any other person.
In cabinet, in the House, within the circles of the party, if there's one person who has held strongly for Adwoa, it is me. And all people know that I've been doing that because Adwoa served under me as a deputy leader in the first stanza of the Kufu Adwo's administration. And she was, as far as I'm concerned, she was diligent in what she was doing. That is why I've tried to hold the fort for her, including even engaging the mother and the father on occasion. When Adwoa went, and eventually she went in August, you remember, and didn't come back. The last meeting of the first session, she didn't come back. When she had assured that she'll be coming back when Parliament resumes in October, she didn't come back until December. Even that took a lot of persuasion. And on a daily basis, I was engaging her before eventually she came down. And when she did come down, the very day she did come down, I arranged to meet her because I knew, having traveled down, she would require some resources. And I met her, and we had some discussions with a special assistant, at least something to keep her surviving. When she had come to Ghana and went to the house, when we needed her in Parliament, she wouldn't come. I had to send my driver and my security detail to go and fetch Adwoa. And when they went, they had to stay outside. They were kept outside a gate for quite a while before eventually they opened the gate for them to go inside and bring her down. And Adwoa going back promised that she'll be coming back. She didn't come. And up to now, she hasn't come. I've been engaging her all this while. But over the past, and even when I was engaging her, sometimes you go off for about 1 week. You want to chat with her, she will not engage. But I kept banging, and then she will come back. That's been the communication between Adwoa and myself. I mean, I'm at pains to relate to these details because she's now saying that leadership has not been backing her and that we have been witch hunting her. I'm surprised. And I think it's the most unfortunate and regrettable statement from Adwoa. And all this while, for the past 2.5 months, I've not been engaging. Yes, I've not been engaging because I've sent numerous messages, over 20 messages to Adwoa the past 4 months that she has not responded to. So I decided, okay, then let me hold my phone. In the meantime, when she had to appear before the appointment committee, the first time when she didn't show up, the second time when she said she was going to appear herself through Zoom, it was me that she sent the special assistant to communicate the message to. And I relayed to the chairman of the committee. And I asked her to relay same to the chairman of the committee herself. She declined to do that. But upon my word, they set up and they got in touch with the special assistant who confirmed what she had told me. They set up and wanted to have her word and really interrogate her via Zoom. 1st July, Adwoa declined to offer herself. So what else should we be doing or should we not be doing?
Well, you see, there is no law that stops an MP from absenting him or herself from more than 15 sittings.
Yeah.
But of course, not seeking permission from your caucus and of course the speaker smacks of impunity.
Rightly so, because Tufman, the constitution is very clear. We've gone about this over and over again in Article 97 1C. Yeah. And for me, a lot of the time, what we don't even take into cognizance or what we don't even take notice of is actually 1D, where the member of parliament is said to have acted in contempt of parliament.
Exactly.
In this instance, contempt being just a disregard for the authority of parliament. And for me, that's where Honorable Adwoa Safo falls short. It's very unfortunate. Like you were saying, the laws of the land, the constitution, the standing orders of parliament is clear on an instance like this. I mean, she herself gave an instance of when a colleague in the 7th parliament had to absent herself for, according to her, almost 2 years to deal with some of these personal issues. And she was trying to sort of compare her situation with that. But what she fails to acknowledge is that in her own submission or in her own statement she posted on Facebook, this member of parliament notified the majority caucus, and by extension, I'm sure the speaker would have known. So there's no law that says that you can't absent yourself from 15 sittings. But what the constitution expects is that in doing so, you'd have to notify the speaker in writing, and of course, you'd have to give reasonable explanation as to why that is done. And for me, she falls very short of that. And for me, it's very unfortunate to expect that for her, an experienced legislator as such should, know some of these things and not act or do things that will make her fall short of the law. So it's very unfortunate coming from her.
That's where my confusion is with respect to the Privileges Committee and all that has happened after their sittings. Because if you listen to a former ranking member on the Legal, Constitutional and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of the House, Adwoa Safo, he makes it clear that the Constitution actually puts the responsibility on the shoulders of the Privileges Committee to determine the fate of I mean, Sarah Adwoa Safo. So, I mean, and of course, the chair of the committee has also made it clear. So now we have Inusa Fuseni and of course the chair Joe Sewusu all towing the same line, leaving the responsibility to the privileges committee to decide the fate. In fact, Inusa Fuseni is asking the committee to pronounce guilt on Sarah Adwoa Safo. And so one is wondering why the minority caucus on the committee is sharply divided, and I mean the minority caucus and the chairman of the committee are sharply divided on this matter.
It's a very dicey situation because we've probably not had to deal with something like this in a very long time in our legislature, especially when the stakes are high than ever because of course the hung parliament situation.
Exactly, that's the greater picture, and that is what everyone is playing to now.
You see, Nana Tufo, the constitution is clear. It says that the privileges committee, if you look at the way parliament works, almost every committee have, for instance, certain instances where some authority is given to them and is solely in their preserve to act on some of these instances. For me, the constitution spells it out clearly. If the drafters of the constitution felt that for such an issue like this, maybe plenary should be the one to decide on it, I'm sure the constitution would have been stated clearly. So for me, I find it very difficult to comprehend the fact that they were able to come out with a decision on Mr. Henry Korte and Honorable Kennedy Japan, but for Adwoa Safo sought to put it out to the plenary and I agree with Honorable Sechi Mensabon when he says, for instance, that it is unconstitutional because the constitution clearly spells out what should be done in that instance. And Tufman, like I was saying, if you come down to the Article 97, 1D, it's clear a lot of the time we miss that out in the conversation around what's happening in Parliament right now. But it says that when a member of Parliament vacates the seats, when he or she is said to have been in contempt of Parliament. And in this very simple instance, contempt means being disregarding the authority of Parliament. And to a very large extent, that is what I feel Honorable Adwoa Safo has done. The Privileges Committee would also seek to make an argument that, for instance, in normal legal or even natural justice, you don't acquit or you don't condemn someone until you've heard the person's issue, the person's claim. And for that reason, they can't probably give judgments on the issue. I heard Honorable A.B.A. Fuseni and I think even Ricketts Hagen make those arguments. But I see, to what end? So are we going to wait till eternity, hoping that you come and give a testimony to the Privilege Committee?
And so see, why is it that even throughout all this, she has not found reason in writing to the Speaker?
And you see, the bigger problem is that even when you take away the fact that she's not even written to the Speaker, she finds all the space in the world and all the time in the world to come out with a statement, to come out with videos. Those are personal things. We don't want to go into it. But for me, that official statement she put out on Facebook, for instance, should be put in as an official testament.
Energy could have
exactly. So I feel like the Privileges Committee wanted to find out why she's exempted herself from over 15 sitting days. In her statement on her Facebook, which is her official Facebook, her special aide who spoke on Eyewitness yesterday alluded to the fact that it is from her. I think can be tendered in as her official reasons, and for that reason, the Privileges Committee can act on it.
Take a decision.
Lawyers will tell you that even in the modern world right now, you can serve someone via WhatsApp digitally. So if she's come out to put a statement to explain why she's been out, I mean, she alludes to the fact that it's some personal issues and that she had in the past she's put a family fair. I mean, all of those things she was saying.
But you see, this is a person that even in the face of a substituted service, she didn't show.
So yes, so now that she has posted the reasons for her absence on her Facebook, I feel the Privileges Committee can take it up from there and judge her case based on her reasons she posted on Facebook. And I feel it's a very fair assessment, especially when you've given her a very long rope, reached out to her on numerous occasions, asking her to come and give her reasons for her absence, and she's not really adhered to that.
Right.
You can take that statement.
All I know is she cannot continue to hold the entire country to ransom. She cannot continue to deny the people of Dom Kwabenya representation in Parliament. And so the Privileges Committee really, let's put aside all the political shenanigans and do what the Constitution says.
We don't talk about political leaderships failing in this
well, I mean, clearly there's a failure
You've
on
left
there.
your post as a minister for how long? And there's really nothing concrete or
she's still being paid
Of course, because we've not heard otherwise. So
Anyways, let's move on to our next story. And of course, we also saw what happened in Suame, in the Ashanti region, a few days ago when the MP for the area sought to address the people there. Now we understand an agreement has been laid before Parliament for the construction of the Suame interchange. The following clip has the details.
The government has laid a commercial agreement for the construction of the Suame interchange and ancillary works. The agreement has been referred to the Finance Committee of the House for consideration and report after it was laid by a Deputy Minister for Finance, Adwoa Safo. Now, this comes barely 24 hours after residents almost attacked the MP for the area and Majority Leader Osei Mensah-Bonsu over the poor nature of roads. There is more in this report.
On Monday, the MP for Suame, Osei Mensah-Bonsu, escaped a near attack from constituents over the nature of roads, but on Tuesday, as if by design, government laid the much-anticipated agreement for 140 million euros for the construction of the Suame interchange.
Buyer's credit agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry for Finance and Dutch Bank SAE, as arranger, structuring bank mandated lead arranger and agent for an amount of 135,396,518 euros and 38 cents, supported by a CESDE insurance premium to finance the design and construction of phase 1 of the Suame interchange and ancillary works project at Kumasi, Republic of Ghana.
Honourable members, the agreement is duly presented. It is referred to the Finance Committee for consideration.
Well, we've heard the MC for the area speak on this particular project, and he has actually given assurances that it should start in August of this year. And I'm wondering why the commercial agreement is now being laid in the House and being referred to the Finance Committee. Does it have to take, I mean, the citizens protesting? Because we've seen some of these. I mean, there have been areas where there have been demonstrations before government has moved in to fix their roads.
Tufman, they're very popular. What social media meme says, how can you tell me this story? Really?
Exactly.
Is it not interesting how we do our politics in this country? And now this morning or late evening, we started hearing from the Mr. Kwame Agboja, who is a ranking member on the Transport Committee of Parliament, saying that this whole thing is even staged. I mean, it's really interesting and funny how we do our politics in this country. But the major issue remains that it's unfortunate that for a very industrializing or light industrializing economy or ecosystem like Suame, it took, for instance, people coming out to protest about how poor their roads are for government to act swiftly on it. This morning we heard on the breakfast show, for instance, some agreed deals government will be taking to embark on fixing interchanges across the country. And
not to catch you, but that also Governor Agboja has spoken on it, saying that it's more or less a duplication of the same thing. If you look at the figures in there, we're talking what, some millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
And for the construction of same projects. Now, I mean, it brings to the fore the issue of prioritization of these roads. I mean, interchanges, we know where somebody's campaign promise. And so if we want to prioritize that, I mean, over roads that bring food to the cities, to the markets, that could even help in reducing your food price inflation that you're grappling with, for which reason you've gone to IMF. One wonders how you are prioritizing your projects.
And for me, it's the inconsistencies really in government's communication, because in one breath, we were told that it was going to be, 2022 was going to be a year of roads. Then subsequently, the IMF situation comes in. Now you have a vice president who is telling us that you prioritize a Ghana card, for instance, over thousands of interchanges. So really, where is the priority? Where is government's focus right now? And for me, the vice president's comment sort of gives us a hint into what to expect from this government. By now, after announcing that it was going to be a year of roads by the president and the finance minister, we would have expected some really high-level work being done into explaining to Ghanaians, for instance, what work has gone into making sure that the year of road start wasn't just a mere rhetoric, but actually it was some work was put into it. There'll be very little to show for at this point. So it's very unfortunate that even though government seems to, by words or rhetoric, try to put an idea sort of that they are working to fix roads in the country. The actual work on the ground, it's really a far cry from that.
We'll get to have a bigger bite on this, but you see, the artisans and the business owners in the enclave say enough of the lip service.
Exactly.
They want the roads fixed. They want to see the work done. Let's look at this clip and then we can understand where the business owners and the artisans in the enclave are coming from.
Now, artisans and business owners at the Suame magazine in the Ashanti region have expressed doubt over the government's assurances of constructing an interchange at the Suame roundabout. Now, following an attack on the Member of Parliament for the area, Osei Mensah on Monday, he reiterated that plans were far advanced for work to soon commence on the project. The residents and artisans have, however, cast doubt over this and have urged the authorities to ensure actual construction works commence as early as possible. There's more in the following report by City News' Bureau Chief for the Middle Belt, Adwoa Safo.
Following the attack on him by angry residents and artisans in Suame on Monday, the Member of Parliament for the area, Osei Mensah, stated that after completing work on the Suame roundabout through to macro stretch, work will soon commence on the Suame interchange project.
In the very near future, government is going to begin the construction of the interchange at Suame. It is also going to cause some dust. And if it's difficult for them to tolerate this, it will also be very difficult for them to tolerate the other one, the major construction. So you need to come and speak to them to be on the lookout for this, so that when the time comes for the construction of the interchange to begin, people will not develop apprehension for the dust that may come up, because it's a necessary part of road construction.
Following what they describe as many unfulfilled promises, the residents want government to show true commitment in ensuring that the project is indeed constructed as early as possible.
It is long overdue. The interchange, it is long overdue. Even in the 2021 budget, they captured it in that they are going to give Ashanti region 3 interchanges. I think when you were coming, you yourself, you saw, see what is happening now. A vehicle will stay in the line for about one hour, and you suspect to get production going. It is not good. It is not fair. Kumasi people, we are not getting our fair share.
Currently, we are happy, but interchange, you know how many it's going to take. The cost, the immense, have they planned of anything else? Even this road, we had to demonstrate. We have to cause riots here and there before it gets being fixed. If they say you are going to fix the interchange for us, we are currently okay with it. We are not against it. But the issue is, it should be done at the point in time when we needed it. If they are going to construct the interchange, it should be done on time without causing much problem than this has already caused to us. Because Sufla interchange has been semi-constructed for several years and left abandoned. We don't want the same situation over here. Because this is a high economic road, more than that road. We don't want the same situation over here. So they should construct the interchange as they have said it, on time, and deliver it to us.
I heard that they are going to construct the interchange. That one, I'm not even sure that it is even going to be possible. No, you know, if you are going to do this interchange, I know it will definitely cost. And recently, we have signed the IMF. So where are they going to even get that money from? And again, to have heard that even the students at the school, to their feeding grants is even finished. So where are they going to get that money from?
The artisans and business owners say their immediate concern is for work to be completed on a Suame macro stretch, since it is affecting them negatively. They complain that the dust affects spare parts, and that has adversely affected their businesses. Some have even resorted to covering their items as well. They have thus called on authorities to urgently complete construction works on the road.
If you can turn your camera around and you look on our road, Suame magazine from Suame roundabout to Macro, I know the government has said a lot of these agitations that is going on, because even at the MPP recent conference, I know the regional minister was talking about it, all the agitations. Please help fix our routes. Because now look at my friend over here. He's a friend, a brother, and a customer. We can't even open the tarpaulin so we can sell. So how do we make money? How do we pay our staff? These are all some of the concerns that people in Suame magazine are telling the government. If you know you can fix it, don't even come and scratch it off. Because now look, they scratched the first layer off. And so now we have the ground and dust that is killing us. Look at this. You see, this is my phone. Look at all the dust. You can clean it maybe 3 times before the end of the day. People are getting sick. People are getting worried. We can't even sell. So I'm using this opportunity to appeal to the government to come fix our road for us.
So they should just do this road for us. You know, this road is a busy road. They are going to Niger, Mali, Burkina. This road is a very busy road. And this road was done by Jerry John Rawlings. I can't remember, so let's say they said it's almost 30 years. And all of a sudden we were just here and we just saw bulldozers, caterpillars coming to destroy the road. So we even thought they are coming to do it soon. And all of a sudden, they stopped and they just left the road like that. And we are even dying of dust. You can just look at look at this engine. Have you seen? It's always dust. And even what we are selling, always dust. So if someone is coming to buy your goods and you just give it to him or her, no, they are you see. So we can't even sell properly over here when we can. So we just want the MP and the government to come and just construct the road for us.
We've been told that this road will be constructed within a maximum of 10 days. We are currently comfortable with it and we are feasible with it, that we are waiting that the road should be constructed in the 10 days for us. We are okay, because the kind of dust we are inhaling into our system is going to cause a lot of problems for us in a few days to come by.
Speaking to City News, they also called on government to address other concerns such as getting the Suame magazine area a clinic, a fire station, and other essential services. They believe commencing work on the Buankra Inland Port project was to relieve them of their burden, since they will not have to travel to Tema to clear their goods.
The whole Suame magazine, we don't have a clinic. And some are even working with metals and other stuff. So imagine if a metal kills someone, unless you rush that patient to Kofo emergency. Meanwhile, there should be a clinic over here, a very huge clinic. And the funny thing is, you know, those who are here, always they are the ports. Some will be offloading their containers, their cars, and they pay huge amounts to the government. So why are you neglecting Suame magazine as a whole?
We expect much more. We expect to see this group of industries to have at least a fire tender, a clinic or a hospital, at least a first aid attendance to us. In addition to it, we expect the government to put more assurances on us that it's going to help us put our business on toes. The Buankra Inland Port is going to help us convey our goods here smoothly, without stress. We are urging on and pushing the government to put much effort in putting up the Buankra Inland Port as much as possible and as soon as possible to help lubricate our business and our economic activities down here.
Meanwhile, a youth group within the Suame municipality has jumped to the defense of the Member of Parliament for the area and has condemned the attack on him.
Suame, so we were summer, and that chairman was another remedy. First, no came in Antico. Your minister assembly, more be out of minister assembly. If you know, will be a better set when you're for such a supposed to. The we hear, Papa, or your nipper, who hear, wow, why, and for you, or show, and will be on the idea such a supposed to and wrap of indeed.
While those at the Suame magazine here are excited about the fact that work has resumed and that they want authorities to ensure it is completed as early as possible, they also want authorities to address other pressing concerns that they have. For City News, I'm Edwoa Safo, Suame.
So really what the people want is the roads. They just want the roads fixed. All the shenanigans, they couldn't be bothered about that. They want their roads fixed and they want it fixed now to reduce all the inner city congestion. Because really, if you go to the Suame area, heading to the Suame roundabouts, the traffic there now is really serious.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because there's more than enormous potential and capacity for Suame magazine, for example, to be the leading job creation drive in the country, more than any job creation drive or intervention by governments, be it YA, be it NAPCO, be it youth in afforestation. I mean, it has the potential to be the leading job creation and employment drive and industrialization drive or hub in Ghana, and maybe I can go by extension and say even in West Africa.
Because we are bringing people to assemble vehicles here.
The
people at Suame are doing amazing stuff.
And it's unfortunate that they are not getting the government support. Now, that's for why am I saying so? Over 200,000, and this was some research done in 2015, 200,000 people are directly employed in Suame magazine, and by extension, some 600,000 livelihoods depend on these people. So you can see how much of a very economically viable place it is. And mind you, for the MPP as a government, it's not only an economically viable place, it's also very politically viable. Look at the election results. From 2016, when Chairman Sabunsu contested, mind you, it was Old Tafo Suame constituency, and in 2004 they split it. Old Tafo went separately, Suame went separately, partly because of how much of a booming economy it was becoming. So you can't discount that at all. And for me, it's very unfortunate that for an auto artisan industry like that, very few of its kind in Africa, for a very booming economy like that, you find it that is government support over the years has not been encouraging at all. And the least a government can do is to listen to them, is to help address some of their concerns. What are they saying? They are saying their roads are very bad. And I was listening to the interview, the ones that led to the agitations before they started hooting at the minister. And one was saying that, see, he invests so much in his business, he fixes engines, repairs engines, then the next time he's taking the engine from the workshop to deliver to the person, that's just enters the engine, then everything comes to a halt. So it's very unfortunate that after all the hard work they put into their work, they have nothing to show for it. And if any government wants to take industrialization very serious in the country, I'm sure this is where you can start for. What a lot of people have forgotten is that in 2013, Suame magazine actually assembled a whole vehicle. Of course, it was in partnership with the Netherlands embassy, but they had this vehicle they called the Smarty Turtle. I think it was Suame magazine auto. There was something. They assembled, and it was taken to, they actually shipped the vehicle to the Netherlands for investors, investment opportunities and other things. So, like I'm saying, it's a very viable hub. It's something that you cannot discount or take away. And for me, it's unfortunate that it had to come to this. They are saying, today we heard a member of parliament saying that it was staged and all of that. But you can't take away the fact that people actually want better. Now they've moved away from just roads to actually a clinic and other ancillary works like that. So it's very important. Government needs to pay attention to that sector because, like I'm saying, it's a major tool to curb employment and curb unemployment. And
so you can also join the conversation. Let us know what you think. Send in your comments via the WhatsApp number 0550585832. You can join the feed on social media. On Facebook is City TV. On Twitter and Instagram is at CityTVGH. Send us your thoughts. Let us know what you think. But stay with us because when we come back, National Youth Wing of the New Patriotic Party assures concerns of TESCON members across the country will be addressed. Details shortly. Do stay. Welcome back. You're watching CNR Extra on City TV. My name is Nana Tufo Poateng, and I'm here with Jude Mensah Duncan. We're bringing you the stories, of course, that air on City Newsroom, and we'll have a conversation around them. Now, we want you to join in this conversation by sending in your thoughts via the WhatsApp number 0550585832. Let's do some politics now, and of course, fallout from the MPP's National Delegates Conference. We saw what happened with respect to TESCON. Well, the youth wing of the party is promising that all concerns of TESCON will be addressed. Take a look at this clip.
The National Youth Wing of the New Patriotic Party has assured of efforts to address concerns of TESCON members across the country. This follows a decision by TESCON presidents across the country to suspend its activities following an injunction that has allowed them from casting their ballots in the just-ended National Delegates Conference. The party, however, says engagements have been scheduled with interested parties to address concerns of the students. City News' Hans Najiman has more in this report.
Despite being in office for less than 72 hours, the leadership credentials of the National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party are being tested as he is faced with the anger of a major base of the youth wing. The group, tagged as the intellectual wing of the party, was prevented from voting on Saturday after an injunction was placed on the TESCON delegates list. The students protested at the conference grounds and threatened not to allow the process continue if they were not allowed to vote. But all these were not fruitful.
We can't bring people from Northeast. We can't bring people from Savannah region. We can't bring people from Upper East. We can't bring people from Upper West, all the way to Accra, just to tell them that they wouldn't vote. So why are they here? Why are they here?
Youth organizer position, you are not allowed to vote?
No, this is
all the position.
The group was angered over why such a problem that reared its head in the regional polls was left unsolved, to the extent that it led to the disenfranchisement of its members. In Greater Accra, disagreements over the TESCON voter roll led to scuffles while voting was stored in the Ashanti region as a result of similar challenges. NPA boss Mustafa Hamid, who is a former youth organizer of the New Patriotic Party, has been shedding some light on the causes of the problem.
It is the youth wing of the party that is responsible for inaugurating TESCON branches. Okay, and the branches which have the right to vote are institutions where TESCON has been inaugurated. Okay, so if I go to Mampong College of Education as National Youth Organizer and I inaugurate an MPP branch in that place, then what it means is that henceforth a delegate from Mampong College of Education is entitled to vote. Yeah. What I think happens is that most of the time, the National Youth Organizers, they go around and do all these inaugurations, and then, for whatever reason, do not enter the schools they have inaugurated these branches in the register at the party headquarters as a place where perhaps TESCON has been accredited or inaugurated.
A leading member of the New Patriotic Party, Gabi Asari Ochredako, who is disappointed over the happenings, wants the situation addressed.
One hitch which I find very, very unfortunate is the issue of TESCON.
Yes, that's right.
We are told that somebody has
There's
gone
an
to court.
injunction placed on them.
Yes,
yeah.
I find that very unfortunate. And for me to deny the intellectual hub of this party their right to vote is very unfortunate. But we saw signs of that at a regional level.
That's right.
In Ashanti, in Greater Accra, you know, the big regions. We saw that. Well, Eastern region, we had no issues there. I was in Eastern region that day. You know, but I think it tells us that there's some discretion, some laxity or flexibility within the selection process of delegates at TESCON. And I hope that when the new national officers are elected, it should be one of the first things that they sort out. They should tighten it, because you know that when you are elected as a constituency chairman or secretary.
Due to the failure to revert the injunction, the students have since written to the party and described as unfair the events that occurred over the weekend. They accused the party hierarchy of deliberately disenfranchising them. In a petition to the National Youth Organizer, TESCOM presidents across the country decided to suspend all activities until their grievances were addressed. In response to this, the new National Youth Organizer has held a series of meetings with a number of TESCOM executives.
There was nothing that we could do. If we knew that there was such an injunction, I'm sure leadership would have asked them to stay behind wherever they were coming from and not to discomfort them, to allow them take such a long journey only to come and be unable to vote.
So are they buying into this explanation?
Oh, we have had a lot of discussions. It's a gamut of issues. It's a gamut of issues. A lot of things are amalgamated for us to arrive at the point. And my engagements are showing that we all do have an appreciation of the problem. And clearly, the solutions are also in sight.
The National Youth Organizer also refuted claims that he benefited from the decision to prevent TESCOM delegates from voting.
I was rather, disadvantaged because I was going to get a lot of votes from TESCOM, and I believed that I was going to stretch my friends and other contenders quite hugely if TESCOM were to vote. The margin would have been bigger than we have it now. So I was sad. I was very sad when it came to bear that indeed TESCOM was not going to vote.
Salam Mustafa was in the race with 3 other persons, namely Abanga Fuseni Yakubu, Prince Kamal Guma, and Michael Osei-Boateng. According to him, the 3 have rigged out to express their support for his administration. He, in turn, has also expressed willingness to work with them when the opportunity presents itself.
After election, there's cooperation, so why not? Everybody's needed,
Do you have any rules in mind you may want them to play?
Why not? I mean, this is about building the youth wing. It's about building the party. It's about numbers, and they are equally part. They are all still under the youth wing. None of them is out of the youth wing. So once they are part of the youth wing, we'll all work together to ensure that the collective interest of the party is what prevails, and that we are able to deliver on the set mandate. For me, the biggest responsibility charged on me and the youth wing is that let's build a strong, a formidable, a capable, and an efficient youth wing that can break the 8. And that's exactly what I want to do.
Are you willing to, say, appoint any of them as your deputy?
Well, it's a matter that is not within my bosom. It's a matter for National Council of the party. So if National Council so deems fit, I mean, I will not be in any position to deny that.
He has also stated that there will be efforts made to provide the youth of the NPP with employment opportunities.
If we were to prioritize the private sector and, let it lead the employment drive, we will be able to reduce to unemployment to the barest minimum. And the entrepreneurship, some of these things are things that I will be promoting as National Youth Organizer, National Youth Leader of the New Patriotic Party, to ensure that we find more opportunities for young people.
Usually when it comes to entrepreneurship, there's a concern about lack of capital. Are you having some policies to make capital available to the youth of the NPP?
I'm looking at different ways to do so. One of the things I'll be proposing to the party, if we can set up our own internal investment fund to help our party people. Also, where need be, there are government policies that we can channel some of them to for assistance as well.
He's yet to settle in a seat when already his credentials are being tested.
I know,
but
right?
I think it really is a step in the right direction, which should be speedily addressed, because if you don't, this will come back to bite you really hard.
It's unfortunate for me. I was at the ground, so I could see what was happening as it panned out. And for me, it's very unfortunate that for instance, the intellectual hub of the party will be denied or disenfranchised in a very important electoral
exercise
process like this. And if you look at for instance, the total valid votes cast for the National Youth Organizer position, if you look at all the votes put together, it was just about 629 votes, and it was a total of about expected TESCON votes were to be about 300.
That's the difference between the two leading contenders.
No, as in like the total votes cast for all candidates was because Salam had 255, Abanga had 153, Guma had 101, or Sebwati had 120. So if you add all of these, this is just about 629 votes. The valid votes cast. Now, if you look at the expected votes or what TESCON was supposed to have brought in, was about 300. So it's very difficult not to convince me that these 300 votes wouldn't have had an impact in this particular one. And for me, it's not in my place to say which of these candidates would have benefited from because TESCON. I didn't have the privilege to go with them throughout their campaign. But I mean, having worked closely in the past, dealing directly with students and TESCON back at the university, I sort of had an understanding as to which of the candidates were kind of very close to TESCON, because some of them, mind you, held positions in TESCON. So it's very unfortunate that it would come out like that. But you understand that it's beyond just the National Youth Organizer. I think the party as a whole need to address this particular one, because in the past, we've heard of instances where it came up during the recommendation to National Council that the process through which they select TESCON delegates for conferences like that need to be addressed. Other instances that came up was the tenure, the election of the president, 2 years to an election or a year. So all of these things need to be addressed. But I feel like it's very unfortunate. It should have been addressed prior to before the conference.
I think I agree with you. Let's take some few quick comments. This one says, I think lawyer Adwoa Safo is just exhibiting pride to the Speaker of Parliament, and that's disrespectful on her behalf. Richard Opokwasari sent that one in. Eric from Kwabenya says, the outburst of Honorable Chairman Sabunsu by his constituents is a reflection of their being fed up with the chronic lies peddled daily by the Honorable Minister. Ghanaian youth are wising up and politicians should take note. Lawa Richard from the Voto region, Keta, says, good morning, people. It's not the government that claims he has constructed 10,885 kilometers of roads in Ghana. What's happened to the majority leader's constituency? Ghana politicians. Right, let us know what you also think. 0550585832, and we'll be sure to read them out. Stay with us on CNR Extra. Still ahead. Man accused of theft and almost set ablaze at Kaswa cries for justice. We'll bring you the details shortly. Please stay. Welcome back. You're watching CNR Extra on City TV. Let's bring you a rather sad story, one of mob justice and how a young man was almost or nearly lynched. Let's take the details in this clip.
A man who was nearly set ablaze by a mob in Kaswa over alleged theft has recounted his horrific moments. Now, according to him, he came close to death as his attackers splashed petrol on him, ready to set him ablaze, but was only saved by the arrival of the police at the scene. Now, Central Regional Correspondent Calvis Tete has more in the following report.
26-year-old Michael Amano, a resident of Amuzukope, a suburb of Kaswa, says he is considering suicide as the only option left for him after his ordeal. On Monday, 11th July 2022, he had his home invaded by some neighbors in possession of clubs and other offensive weapons, ready to lynch him over allegations of involvement in a thievery incident that occurred in the area. A household in the neighborhood had their TV set and other electronic gadgets stolen during the night, and someone had alleged that he saw Michael. Michael indicated that he was not at home at the time and made an official report to the Kaswa Divisional Police Command, but was only assured that nothing would happen to him. He returned home later only to be ambushed by the mob. He was clubbed, raped and stripped naked. Even though he pleaded for mercy, his assailants would not heed. Michael had petrol splashed on his naked body, and just as he was about to be set ablaze, a team of police officers arrived at the scene because someone placed a distress call to them. Even though the intervention of the police saved Michael, he appears extremely terrified, even as he recounts his horrific ordeal to City News. According to him, he has no knowledge about what he is being accused of and cannot understand why he could be humiliated and brutally abused by his own neighbors only based on speculations, even though he has no record of thievery. He is even more disturbed that the police failed to handle the situation in a manner that would have prevented his ordeal, even though he had officially notified them. There has been no police action following the incident, and as he groans in pain, Michael is yearning to see his perpetrators brought to justice.
When I had a call from a neighbor that these people has broken into my house, that I have gone to rob them, so I've gone to rob them. So when I heard it, I went to the police divisional, Kasua divisional, to report it. And when I reported it, the police didn't do anything about it. They only took it as a mere issue and asked me to go home, that nothing would happen. So when I got home, the people met me and they began to beat me up. They beat me up for several hours. They beat me up, poured petrol on me, and they were about to light me up until someone went to report it secretly, and the police team came and rescued me. And this is almost about a week now. There has not been no arrest so far. I can identify them all. They were about 15. The CID called me to check on my well-being, and then I told him I'm okay. And that is all. I want justice. They have shamed me. They stripped me naked. They poured petrol on me, and this accusation they are putting on me, I have no idea about. Now I feel like I shouldn't be living because I feel like taking away my life, if to be sincere with you.
Joyce Amano, a sister of the victim, says her brother has no criminal record and comes as a surprise to the family the accusations leveled against him and the subsequent attack. The family wants the police to thoroughly investigate the matter and bring the perpetrators to book.
Because I am me yamu say yetumi aye ne say obi a innocent person ni bibia wo ho a yetumi aye ne sa.
Well, this is sad, it's unfortunate, and it's rather disturbing. And you see, a number of such cases would have gone unnoticed where innocent people have been lynched. People have lost their lives because someone claims to have seen someone like them.
Exactly.
Committing a crime. It's really sad, and I think the police should really be taking some of these things seriously, especially reports of threats on people's lives.
It seems we've not learned any lesson from the major Mahama incident that happened some time ago, and it shook the nation. And for me, it's unfortunate because some of these things shouldn't be happening in 2022. If this young man had unfortunately died, it would have been a different kind of public furore. Then we'll go back to square one after some few months again. So we need to start taking some of these things very seriously. But I expect that we get counselors, the police service make sure they get counselors for this young man, because the trauma, I really don't want to put myself in the shoes at this moment. He needs some counseling to be taken through him, to take him through some counseling for some time, so he's able to get things
back to his
normal again.
self.
But it's unfortunate that we need to condemn this in no uncertain terms. These things shouldn't be happening in 2020, and the police need to act swiftly to get the corporates involved.
All right, Jude Mensah Duncan, many thanks so much.
The way you mention my name, the way you mention my name, though.
Of course, you are the Jude Mensah Duncan. But thank you so much for joining
Always
me
a pleasure,
on the
Nana.
show. And of course, thank you to you for watching, for joining us on social media, and of course, for commenting. My name is Nana Tufo Wati. We see you again same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.